Okay, welcome to another video. In this video, I'm just gonna discuss VWAPs, my bad, VWAPs and how to trade them, or just one use case, or two main examples where you can see during parabolic phases how you can actually use a VWAP to kind of check out where to enter trades, etc. So the two examples include Maverick, and Pendle, that have done, of course, insane numbers in the last few weeks, honestly months. But okay, here we go. So what is a VWAP? Volume weighted price average, right? I have a weekly and a monthly on. So usually I check the monthly when it comes down to the daily charts, etc., and the weekly is more for lower time frames. And I'm gonna shortly explain how to actually use it on lower time frames, etc., and what to look at. But the main explanation here is for like healthy trends on the longer time frame, where you can see where to long, etc., based on the VWAPs, especially the monthly, on charts such as Mav and Pendle that have already done such crazy numbers. And these are just very clean charts where you can really see the value of it. So on the daily, of course, you can see the VWAP down here in green, and then there's like a blue one that's right underneath there that is a bit less clear. But we're not going to look at this at the daily. We're going to look at this at the 4 hour. So essentially, you can see since the beginning of the rally here how it serves as some type of benchmark, right? So you can see here the monthly reset happened. Where's the monthly reset? I think here's the monthly reset, right? And you can see that it kind of perfectly tests these VWAP levels here. And here's some confluence between the bottom of the weekly, etc. And once it kind of recovers these levels, you can see it's a great spot to continue to buy, or just enter a position based on that, right? So you can see it here, and this is all the monthly. You can see it here, retesting it, resetting, and then continuing this trend up on lower time frames. Of course, if we go down to the hourly, you're gonna see a similar chart where this is the VWAP level previous month, retest, holding the top of it here, which is extreme strength in VWAP levels. I don't want to give up too much about how to actually use the VWAP because I kind of want to keep a lot of it for, of course, the courses, etc., because it's such a useful tool that it's so high level to some degree that I want to keep some of it. But it still goes to show a lot of this price action is holding the middle of the VWAP, so that's important. So this is the middle, here's the top, here's the bottom of the monthly, and you can see we're holding on here, giving you a good chance to kind of accumulate before or if we rip even more. So here you go, after holding it for a while, the middle of the VWAP, we continue to raise into the top boundary of that VWAP level, and here you can see it serves similarly as resistance. Once we flip under it, it's just under, and we're just consistently trading under it up until the point that we are at now. And you can see it's less of a trending market than it is here by the thickness of the VWAP. So you can see here that this is quite thin, and price action has actually been kind of going this way flatly and slowly down, and the VWAP kind of shows you, hey, here's the trend, right? So you can see the trend on these months. Here's a bit of down, flat, and then up. So this is kind of, it shows you the direction the market is kind of taking it, the momentum market is taking it, and a lot of dip buying opportunities at the retest of these VWAPs. And just to give you guys a short explanation, VWAPs essentially set up a boundary, and here's an example of that. So let's say now of course this is a range drawing, but you can kind of see the similar structure where VWAP is of course moving a little bit and is dynamic. This is of course just straight lines, but it works for the explanation. So if price action comes into the VWAP and it's trading, the middle range is kind of fair value, so to speak, and the top of the range is when it's pushing. So theoretically, what you could do if you're on lower time frames and you see a monthly VWAP and you see a nice trend that's slowly uptrending like this, and it's holding on to the middle of that VWAP level, find a long position here based on confluence, of course, into that top of the VWAP range, and then slowly get out as you're consolidating the top or testing that top level before coming back down. So that's one example. And similarly, if it's a downtrending structure, that you can kind of see that resistance in the middle of the range as fair value, and then as it dips, and of course then this has to be trending down, and as it dips into this level, that you short it here and take profits here. Similarly, if you do have just delete all this, if you do have an uptrending VWAP, and you see it holding and it's testing the top and it's holding this and it comes down into this, you see some type of instant reclaim or some type of Dalai Lama play, you can expect it to come and retest this, giving you a good long at below fair value for that time period, so to speak. Of course, it's a time-based tool. So yeah, that's essentially a very short explanation of ways to use it. And you can see that in practice here, where you can see we're holding onto this VWAP level and with some, of course, nuance between the lows. And you can accumulate here, and at the top of the range, you can get out. And here you can see the top of this monthly VWAP, top of the monthly VWAP, retested, breakout, which shows extreme strength. And here it is kind of holding onto that top level of the VWAP. So you can kind of play with it like this, and this is just one example. Similarly, Pendle USDT perpetual contract. Very similar structure here, and very similar play you could have had on the lower time frames using the monthly VWAP, where the lower boundaries of it play perfectly into it, right? So once we see a dip like this, you can see we've been trading mostly above the VWAP level, which is why it's trading upwards. You can see at the lows would have been a nice purchase at the lows of the VWAP, coming back down into that mid-range as previously explained. Similarly here, we're trading above it most of the time. Once we're at the low of the VWAP, we can trade it back into the middle of the range. Here you can even see on lower time frames with this parabola kind of action, that once we retest that middle of the range, we're holding on to it perfectly, and you can trade that into the top of the range. Here at the bottom of the range once more. So it kind of sets up this very clean range for you to trade, and that's kind of in a trending market, that is. In a trending market, is extremely strong. And here you can see once we flip below it, this still serves as resistance, and the VWAP here, of course, we're so weak after this move that this section doesn't really work. But here you can see we come back into that middle of the range VWAP and we reject off of it numerous times, giving you an opportunity to trade that into the bottom of the VWAP range. Similarly here, you can see that it kind of serves, the middle of the range serves as a great benchmark to trade. And I think throughout this entire chart, we can see how well that, and keep looking at the green one. I'm mainly talking about the monthly here. And here you can see we're just consolidating outside of the top of the range, showing extreme strength. Trending VWAP is up. And then at the retest of these levels, which is the middle of the VWAP range, you can begin to take a long into that top. So that's essentially it. Trending markets, VWAP, kind of a short overview of how to play these, and on some very strong, of course, charts where the examples are extremely clear. Okay, if you want to trade Pendle, MAV, or any of these charts that are a bit weaker now than they were a few weeks ago, then you can do that on Bybit. You can do it on WooX. Both of these exchanges, partners of mine. If you do want to trade there, links are down below. Please do sign up with those links. That's going to help this channel, help me out a lot. That'll be great. There's not much else to say, really. Just trade away.